Good morning. How's everybody today? It's Tommy G coming at you from atop the Cumberland Plateau. And I want to talk about quantum entanglement and the news from the Brookhaven National Laboratories in Long Island, New York. What does it all mean? Why is it important? Scientists have discovered a new kind of quantum entanglement of dissimilar materials. This latest discovery was made while exploring a novel means of probing the inner workings of atomic nuclei. The experiments used Brookhaven's relativistic heavy ion collider to accelerate particles at nearly the speed of light. Usually, the collider would smash gold particles together, but instead of smashing them together, the gold particles were surrounded by a cloud of photons and allowed to pass by each other, according to Brookhaven. As they passed by each other, a series of quantum fluctuations caused them an interaction between the photons and the gluons and produced a particle that quickly decayed into a pair of charged pions. When measured, these pions allowed scientists to map the distribution of gluons within the atom's nucleus. Now, if you don't all know, atoms are composed of particles, neutrons, protons, and electrons. And then there are subatomic particles, gluons, quarks, pions. Particles make up the photons and electrons. And I'm sure in 50 years, we'll be hearing about subatomic particles and on and on and on. And I'll tie that all back together here in a minute. It was while taking these measurements that scientists say they observed a curious phenomenon, a new kind of quantum interference. We measured two outgoing particles, and clearly their charges are different. They are different particles, but we see interference patterns that indicate that these particles are entangled or in sync with one another, even though they are distinguishable particles. Zhengbao Zhu, a physicist at Brookhaven National Lab, said in the blog post. According to Brookhaven, most other observations of entanglement have been between photons or identical electrons. This is the first ever experimental observation of entanglement between dissimilar particles. Somebody there by Brandenburg is his name, claims. And I want to credit the A Register for the information in their article. So what the hell does this mean, and what is the significance? This means that there is some unknown force working in between these particles. And what could that mean for us? Well, I think what it means is new forms of communications. If we have quantum entanglement, these particles are acting faster than the speed of light. So you could have communications between somebody on one side of the universe and somebody on the other side of the universe. And they would be speaking like they are speaking in the same room. Doesn't that harmonize with people that claim they're getting psychic messages from ETs or some other place? Could that allow communications between dimensions if they're quantumly entangled? Because from what I understand, nobody understands quantum physics. It's been said by Richard Feynman, if you claim to understand quantum physics, you're full of it. So since nobody understands it, it could possibly explain for a lot of phenomenon that are out there. Ultimately, I believe the reason for this entanglement goes back to the beginning, the Big Bang, and the singularity from which everything is. It's come from, and maybe it will always be. The universe, to me, will eventually condense into a singularity and explode, starting all over in perpetuity. I'm sure the military will find new ways to make their machines with the technology, quantum radars, improved bombs, and people exploit it for profits. But to me, this proves we are one. You, me, the life on other planets, the creator, God, as in this drawing, we are all one. God is in us all, and mystics have been telling us that for centuries. As in this illustration, God is a one being, and I believe God created us out of his own image, like the Bible says. Why? Because if you're one being that created the universe, you're going to be pretty darn lonely, and you couldn't possibly experience it all unless you took different forms. So here's an illustration of God in the Garden of Eden, and God has created himself, the apple tree, the apples, Adam and Eve, and the serpent, and God is there pretending that he's not there, pretending that he's Adam and Eve experiencing these things. Like I said, mystics have been telling us this. Lots of other folks have gone into a lot of philosophical works on what this all means. And to me, this news article from Brookhaven kind of harmonizes with that and ties it all together. And I think if you'll look at the news headlines with a different set of glasses on, that you will see that it does all tie together, that we are all one. So that's it, my short video for today. I want to leave you with a couple of thoughts. Animal and human suffering is a horror, and only we can change that. Adopt a pet from a shelter. Give of yourself to feed the hungry in whatever way you can. Volunteer at the soup kitchen or give financially. There are people in the world that make it a better place. Be one of those people. And I will leave you with that. And so,
Who knows? When Johnny desperately needs him again,
maybe we'll be back
miracle
another day with another news story.
out of the sky.
And maybe the giant robot will come and save us. And maybe you won't. But that's my thought for today. So enjoy it, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you again. Bye for now.